Bilal has filed a $3 million lawsuit against Jada, claiming that she basically threatened, it comes across like a death threat.
To kill him.
Like a death threat, because
It hit Hollywood like a lightning strike in the middle of the night. No warning, no press tour, no carefully scripted apology, just flashing headlines, frantic notifications, and one sentence that stopped people cold. Sources claim federal agents have taken Will and Jada Pinkett Smith into custody for questioning following a sealed investigation. For years, they were untouchable, the couple everyone thought had already survived the worst. The Oscar slap, the public separations, the awkward confessions, the relentless memes.
Shocking allegations against Will Smith, a violinist who was a finalist on America's Got Talent and performed in Smith's band, is accusing the star of predatory behavior.
People believed if Will and Jada could make it through all of that, they could make it through anything. But this felt different. Because this time, it wasn't gossip blogs leading the charge. It wasn't anonymous Twitter threads or YouTube speculation. According to multiple law enforcement-connected sources, federal interest in the Smith household had been quietly building for months, hidden behind sealed filings, restricted subpoenas, and non-disclosure orders that kept even insiders in the dark. And when whispers began spreading that FBI surveillance footage existed, footage allegedly showing what happened during private gatherings, closed-door meetings, and off-the-record mentorship events.
Okay, so according to the complaint, this all happened in March of last year while the violinist was on tour with Will Smith for Smith's global tour for his latest album based on a true story. And according to the complaint, there was this intrusion at his Las Vegas hotel room. He came back to his hotel, he says, and found that there was no forced entry, but that someone had entered the room and left a number of items.
Hollywood went silent. No jokes, no defenses, no celebrity statements, just fear. Because if even half of what's being rumored is true, this isn't just another celebrity scandal. This is the kind of moment that rewrites legacies, exposes power structures, and forces people to confront what really happens when fame, access, and influence collide behind closed doors.
TMZ Live. So Jada Pinkett Smith is in the middle of a thing, namely
a big legal thing,
because according to someone, Jada threatened to put a bullet in them.
someone who is a close friend of Will's. Bilal Salam says that he and Will have been very close friends.
To understand how it got here, you have to go back long before the headlines, long before the alleged investigation, back to when Will and Jada were first sold to the world as something bigger than Hollywood. They weren't just actors, they were a brand of enlightenment. When Will Smith rose to superstardom, he wasn't just the funny guy from sitcoms. He became the symbol of success without scandal. Clean image, family man, box office king, someone parents trusted and studios relied on.
When you get to the parties, they come out and collect everybody's phone. So now it's just your word against a billionaire. You're gonna lose.
Jada, on the other hand, built a different kind of power, less flashy, more psychological. She positioned herself as a truth teller, a healer, someone unafraid to speak about pain, trauma, and transformation. Together, they sold the idea that growth comes through discomfort, that boundaries are meant to be challenged, and that healing requires vulnerability, even when it hurts. To fans, that message felt honest. To critics, it felt unsettling. Over the years, the Smiths created spaces that blurred lines, private retreats, industry dinners, invite-only gatherings framed as spiritual, creative, or therapeutic experiences. Young artists, musicians, assistants, and aspiring creatives were often told they were being chosen for proximity to greatness, and proximity in Hollywood is currency.
Look at how many people he affected negatively. That was his trade-off, to gain what he had. His former bodyguard, Gene Deal, said he seen him doing a ritual where they a dove. What is that? And I feel like it's being overlooked because they see him doing the dance moves with the baggy clothes. You know, some of the ladies in his videos were lady.
But here's the part people didn't question at the time. These gatherings weren't public. Phones were discouraged, NDAs were common, and those who attended were often warned that what happened inside wasn't meant for outside interpretation. At first, it sounded like normal celebrity privacy, until patterns began to emerge. Former associates started disappearing from the public eye, careers stalled without explanation, assistants quietly left and never spoke again, and when a few people tried to hint that something wasn't right, their stories were brushed off as bitterness, mental health struggles, or misunderstandings.
And it just so happened one time we stumbled upon something. You know, it's a big white pentagram on the ground, candles, and it's like, okay. And then we keep looking around, we find somebody in a dog cage, a little lady in a dog cage, handcuffed behind her back.
That's how these stories usually die. But then the industry changed. When other high-profile cases began unraveling, cases involving hidden recordings, sealed indictments, and federal raids, investigators reportedly started noticing overlap: shared security firms, shared event planners, shared legal representation, shared names quietly appearing in background documents, not as defendants, but as connections.
You gotta really look at what's going on. I've been around him a couple of times. Don't like the guy. And I know a lot of other people who he's done weird things too. And there are several men who have reached out to me telling me that they got their cakes took, basically. They got diddled.
According to insiders, that's when federal interest widened, not because of one accusation, not because of one lawsuit, but because of repeated patterns that looked disturbingly familiar to cases already under investigation. What nobody expected was how fast things escalated. Reports now claim that earlier this year, federal agents obtained court approval to review archived digital material connected to multiple entertainment industry investigations. Within that material, sources say, were hours of surveillance, security feeds, and privately recorded footage from events that were never meant to be seen outside a select circle.
They were on the couch and Dwayne was standing up. Like, there was murder in there.
Footage that allegedly raised serious questions. Questions about consent, about power dynamics, about who controlled access and who paid the price for refusing. And according to people close to the situation, once those questions were asked, silence was no longer enough.
I'm sorry, I'm just really, I'm in this moment right now. This is crazy. Sorry. People don't really know how much what it does to you when something that you love is taken from you and thrown away like it don't even matter, and then they move on with their lives and you're stuck. You're stuck during those years. You're still stuck 21 years later.
Late one evening, unmarked vehicles were reportedly seen near properties associated with the Smiths. No press conference, no flashing sirens, just methodical, quiet movement. Neighbors say they noticed unusual security coordination and vehicles they'd never seen before. Then came the leaks. Not official confirmations, not yet, but consistent reports from different sources describing the same thing: federal questioning, temporary detainment for interviews, and a growing investigation that had moved beyond interest into something far more serious. Social media exploded. Fans refused to believe it. Critics said they'd always known something was off. Industry insiders stayed quiet, deleting old photos, unfollowing accounts, distancing themselves without explanation. Because in Hollywood, silence is strategy. What makes this situation especially chilling is the alleged existence of footage, not hearsay, not testimony, visual records that, if authenticated, could show moments that contradict the carefully curated public image the Smiths spent decades building. Sources claim the footage doesn't show anything illegal on its own, but when placed into context, alongside witness statements and timelines, it allegedly paints a picture of manipulation hiding behind empowerment language. And that's the part that's hardest for people to process, because Will and Jada didn't present themselves as predators or power brokers. They presented themselves as guides, mentors, people helping others do the work. But power doesn't always look aggressive. Sometimes it looks calm. Sometimes it sounds supportive. Sometimes it feels like opportunity. Investigators reportedly focused heavily on the imbalance: who had fame, who had access, who had something to lose, and who was told, subtly or directly, that silence was part of the deal. If these reports hold weight, the investigation isn't about one night or one incident. It's about a system, a culture where influence replaced accountability, and where questioning authority meant losing everything. The emotional fallout has been immediate. Fans who grew up watching Will Smith feel betrayed, confused, and heartbroken. Many say they don't know how to separate the man who made them laugh from the man described in these reports. Others point to years of red flags that were ignored because people didn't want to believe someone so beloved could be capable of harm. Jada's image has shifted even more sharply. Once praised for her vulnerability and openness, she's now being scrutinized for control, influence, and alleged intimidation behind the scenes. Old clips are resurfacing, old interviews are being reanalyzed. Statements that once sounded empowering now feel unsettling in hindsight. And inside their family, sources say the strain is enormous. This isn't just about careers, it's about children watching their parents' legacy unravel in real time. It's about private pain becoming public spectacle. It's about realizing that no amount of fame can shield you once federal interest turns serious. Hollywood itself feels shaken. Executives are reportedly nervous. Lawyers are on high alert. Production companies are reviewing old contracts. Because if investigators prove that certain practices were normalized under the guise of mentorship or healing, the fallout won't stop with one couple. It could force an industry-wide reckoning. And that's why this story refuses to fade. Every day without a denial feels louder. Every sealed document feels heavier. Every unnamed source feels closer to confirmation. But here's the truth people don't want to admit. Even if no charges are ultimately filed, the damage is already done. The illusion is broken. Once the public starts asking what really happens behind closed doors, they don't stop. They don't unsee patterns, they don't forget silence, and they don't easily forgive systems that protected the powerful while discarding the vulnerable. This moment isn't just about Will and Jada, it's about how many times we were told to ignore discomfort because the messenger was famous, how often we accepted branding as truth, how quickly we dismissed people who spoke up because their stories threatened something we loved. If this investigation continues, and all signs suggest it will, the coming months could redefine what accountability looks like in entertainment. Not performative apologies, not curated confessions, real consequences, real exposure, real endings. So the question isn't whether this story will get bigger, it's how many names will be pulled into the light when it does. Because power hates transparency. And when doors finally open, what's revealed inside rarely matches the image sold on the outside. This isn't the end of the story, it's the beginning of the part no one wanted to tell. And when the truth finally lands, fully, officially, and undeniably, it won't just change how we see Will and Jada, it will change how we see Hollywood itself. Stay alert, stay questioning, and remember, silence is never accidental. We'll see you in the next one.